It's Corrine McKenzie with Latitude Soul Radio, and we are in the beautiful, sunny Puerto Vallarta today, located on the Pacific coast of Mexico. And we're down here just kind of chatting with people from the United States who have decided to make Mexico their home and hear their stories on how they ended up living down here. And I'm with one of the lucky ones, Dean Pope. You're from the United States. You took the plunge. You purchased down here in Mexico.
Yes, it's true, and I did that about 14 years ago, that I bought property down here after I had sailed these waters for 3 or 4 years, and I consider myself sort of a veteran of this part of the world.
Now, you live just on the outskirts of Puerto Vallarta?
Well, I live on the north side of the bay in Bucerias. Puerto Vallarta is actually on the end of the bay of Banderas Bay here, and if you go north past the airport and past Nuevo Vallarta, then you'll come to Bucerias. If you continue on, you'll end up at Ponamita, up in the point of the bay. And
can you describe for us, or do you remember the exact moment when you thought, I'm going to purchase in Mexico, I want to live here?
Oh, I don't know if there's an exact moment. I sailed these waters, like I said, and I sailed the Pacific, but I came back and I decided that I was sort of looking for a place, on the coast of Mexico, and I decided after looking at a lot of the coastal towns, I like Zihuatanejo, I like Mazatlan, I like up in the Sea of Cortez, but I like this because of the fact that it was we're starting into the tropical zone in Puerto Vallarta, and I like that feeling of the palm trees and the jungle, and I like the international airport that is close by, and so it was easy to get in and out of, and I thought that this was a nice place to hang my hat, at least for a period of time, and the period of time has gotten longer and longer.
Now, what is a typical day for you here in Puerto Vallarta?
Well, the typical day is not typical because I'm retired, and I have been retired for going on 20 years now, but I play a lot of tennis, I play a lot of golf, I have people that come down from the States that are here virtually constantly, and
so that's something to consider, get a big house with a guest room.
Well, this is true. I mean, we have a fairly large house, but we also have a small casita or guest house, and so a lot of people like that, and so, but it isn't, there are friends, and they are people that you want to see, and they are people that you want to, spend time with. So I don't resent, people coming down and people, spending time with us. But a typical day is not it can be anything. I have a fishing boat. I fish some days, and some days I go someplace else too, and we travel a lot of Mexico, and we have some favorite cities that are outside of Puerto Vallarta and up in different parts of the inland part of Mexico, and in fact I've traveled virtually all of Mexico at this point in time.
Sounds nice. Sounds like a permanent vacation to me. You're so
Pretty
laid
much.
back about it. I'm jealous. Can you describe the process of how it was to purchase property in Mexico? Was it more confusing than people buying in the United States, or?
Well, I knew how to do it. I mean, I don't look at it as being confusing because it was it was a fairly scheduled and set up way of doing it. Anymore, you can't, or even previous to this, you cannot, as a foreigner, own any property within 20 miles of the ocean or within 30 miles of the borders. So, but you can set up a trust that is a legal entity here in Mexico, and it's through what is called a fideicomiso, and you set that up through the land lawyers who are designated in this part of the world. They're actually called notaries down here, but they're quite different than our notaries in the States. But they're sort of super lawyers that deal only in land. And by setting up this trust, a bank, you go through a bank, and the bank the bank works with the land lawyer, and in the end, you have a trust that is recognizable for 50 years, and then it is also extendable for another 50 years. And during that period of time, it is freely negotiable and saleable and inheritable, and as you designate a beneficiary. And so really, in that respect, it's as close as you can get to owning property. If you're away from the coast and away from the border, anybody can buy anything. It doesn't depend upon what your nationality or your citizenship is.
So, looking around as we've been traveling the last week or so down here, I've noticed so much new construction. And a lot of it seems to be catering to North Americans. Would you agree with that, or?
Well, I agree with that. However, maybe that's you're looking at it in that respect that maybe it's just modernization for the Mexican. It isn't all. Yes, I mean within the last year we've got Costco and we've got Home Depot, and a big Toyota dealership, and out in my area a gigantic grocery store, which we didn't have before, and things that are very convenient to the foreigners, but they're also convenient to the working Mexican here. And you'll go into Costco or Sam's Club or any of the retail outlets that we know, and there will be more Mexican and more local than gringos. So I think it's kind of a recognition of reality and what the opportunities are for these large corporations and these large businesses to come in, but they recognize that they have to cater and sell the product to the people who live here, and the most people who live here are Mexican, and if they can afford it, then it's a good deal.
Dean, I'm going to have to ask you to stop honking that horn.
I thought you wanted a clown act. As good as I could do.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Thank you so much for talking to us. You used to live up in the Pacific Northwest, call Mexico home. It sounds like anybody can do it. It sounds like a relatively easy process. We thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Well, thank you, Corinne, and it's been nice talking to you.